Okay, so body horror is not my type of films. But will the substance change my mind? Let's find out. Chase Lee Hockey here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Substance. So it's about pretty simple premise. Demi Moore is now in her 50s, and yeah, people want to replace her to have someone new. But she gets a little thing in the envelope when she went to a doctor, and it says, call this number, basically. She calls it, and it's a little syringe. You get two bodies now. Your old self and this new self. You're still one. You get 7 days in this body, 7 days in this body, and it's a rotational factor. See? Anyway, wow, okay, anyway, but now, of course, it was going good. Now the young one's like, nah, I want more than 7 days. And once you do that, the other body, even though you have to take some weird, like, liquid, I would call it, like, spine, like, fluid, or what's that called? Bone marrow. Let's put it that way. Bone marrow. And then, into every 7 days. Rotation. But if you miss the 7 days, the older body starts to deteriorate in, like, disgusting ways, right? But now, shenanigans. I'm about to sneeze again, though. Shenanigans will ensue because this is some body horror shit. Anyway, so, did I like this film? I don't know yet. I don't know. So, if you want to know, this girl also did Revenge. And I have that movie, I'm pretty sure, right there. Yes. She did this movie, if you didn't know. So, this movie, Revenge, same director. Alright, let's put this back. So, I think I liked it, even though it's gross. I mean, it is insanely gross. I'm not a fan of, like, seeing needles going to people, even though I have tattoos. The breaking the spine, I think it's more of the back stuff, like back surgeries, just me out. And that is where people came out of this movie in the back. Okay, the gore, absolutely bonkers. The cinematography, fantastic. I love the fishbowl scene, fantastic. Dennis Quaid, great job. Demi Moore, great job. Margaret Quinsley, if I'm saying her name right, fantastic job. I mean, they expose themselves. There's a lot of nudity in this movie. I mean, a lot of nudity. Demi Moore, she was willing to say, you know what, let's go balls to the wall, and she does it. The score, fantastic. It sucked you in. Just the editing sucks you in. It is like wham bam, thank you man of how this moves. Is it a little bit too sexualized for me, especially with the workout videos? Sure. Especially with like the younger version. Like, that's not workout. That is not working out whatsoever. If that is a definition of working out, what the hell are we doing? That's some OnlyFans shit. Also, I was a little bit confused about where we are at in this day and age because, you have the Demi Moore workout videos and you have the new girls workout videos. Is that still popular in today's day and age? Yes, I know there's P90X and there's like stuff like that, but this has felt like very 80s-esque, but not 2020-esque. Again, acting fantastic. The technical craft of this movie is fantastic. I mean, even though it's 2 hours and 20 minutes, it didn't feel 2 hours and 20 minutes. The pacing was top notch. Okay, so I watched Perry Nemiroff's For Your Consideration, and she is like, that's a perfect film. Jeff Snyder as well as Scott Mance, if not mistaken, they both agree that it's a 10 out of 10 until the last 20 minutes. Now I'm thinking, okay, what does this last 20 minutes do? Oh my God. Like, I could understand how the last 20 minutes is polarizing. Thank God I was the only one in the theater because I was dying laughing. Just the absurdity. I mean, it fucking swung for the fences. It swung so hard, so far. The ambition was just fucking cray-cray in the membrane. And I can only applaud it because it is a fire hose. That's all I'm going to say. It's literally like, and you're just like, holy shit. It is going there. Oh my God. Like, yes, do I wish that we explained about what this substance is, this green liquid, like how this is possible? Sure. But I don't think it doesn't really matter, because the underlying message of this movie is about how women are treated at a younger age, sexualization of women, things like that. Even though, like, it is a double-edged sword, because even though we sexualize women and Hollywood does that, you have this OnlyFans where it's just like they do it to themselves at a point, and I know that sounds awful, but people are saying that, I'm not going to get political, but like, oh, Trump's rhetoric, he's doing it to himself to get assassinated. That is such a horrible rhetoric to say. It's like, oh, I guess the woman's wearing a skirt, she wants to get raped. Like, are we really going to go in that rhetoric? And even though it might sound like that, I think it's very different between like a girl going to just walking down the street versus a girl saying, hey, here's $10,000, here's my asshole. And you're just like, are we really okay with that? Because even Rihanna's like, I wish I didn't do half the shit I did when I was younger, because now I have a daughter now and a son now. Kim Kardashian, shit like that, where you're just like, yeah, why are we doing this to ourselves? So I think there's a double-edged sword to this movie that discusses that, of like, what are we doing as a society to improving it? And also, what are we doing as a society to making it worse? Because we are doing both. Like, we want to, like, say women are sacred. Women shouldn't have to do this to their bodies. But then at a point, it's like they're willing to do it. And I know that sounds horrible, but when you look at these OnlyFans girls, and they're basically making porn, and I understand what this movie's going for. It truly is like, it's throwing a lot at you, and it does make you think about where are we going with this society of sexualization, what people are willing to do for it, and what people are willing to expose themselves to. Because even Debbie Moore does it, where she's like, there's at a point where it's like, you could terminate the whole thing. Termination can happen, but the side effects of you being like somewhat the monster from Goonies, if you want to put it that way, like, are you willing to stop it? And of course she says no, because of the beauty standards that is put out in the world. And when you call it Monsieur Elizasu, I died. I completely died. It is very hard, though, for me to judge this movie, because like there were some things where I'm like, okay, are we going too far? Are there some things where we could tone it down a little bit? And I look at Dennis Quaid's character. He's only in the movie for maybe 15 minutes. Like, this is truly Debbie Moore / Margaret Quinsley's characters or movies. They do a fantastic job. This girl director, man, she wrote the shit out of this movie. She had a vision. She put all of it on the screen. I don't know, because it's like, we want to sexualize women, but this movie kind of goes there with like doing full frontal with both these females. It's like, is that really necessary? It just makes me like, it's a weird movie. Can I recommend it? Yes, this is probably one of the better body horror type of films. But my God, that third act, just fucking, I can only applaud, because it is that fucking bonkers. And so when we bring the prongs with Dennis Quaid, yeah, that was gross. People that eat like that, no. You're a grown-ass man. Have some respect. You don't eat like that. That's just gross. Gross. So this substance will receive a 3.5 out of 5 of Futons, which equals that 70%. Let's see the critics and user scores gave this one. So critics a 90% with 214 of them. Critics a audience 70% with over 250. Critic consensus: audaciously gross, wickedly clever, and possibly Demi Moore's finest hour. The substance is a gasp-induced feature from writer-director Coralie. Is her name really Coralie? Fargeat? Am I saying her name right? I was kind of gross. It's not just, yeah. It's, yeah. Holy shit. 70s, 90s. Chase Sock here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. Let me know things Booftopia. You Boofton, take watch a great down. Garcia State tomorrow, week from now, month, or year from every single freaking one of you. Man, that third act, man. This could be, shit, man. This movie is cray in the membrane.